So I want to talk about creating intimacy with selling, and really it is about the art of creating sacred space. And so I've done a few videos as it relates to establishing a love relationship with selling and how important that is to practice partnership with selling. And so sometimes we need to take the time out to really honor our relationship with sales and to really establish a deeper relationship with that, to be in conscious communion with selling. And a great way to do that is creating times of intimacy, intimacy through communing and creating that sacred space. And so just thinking about how you take a few minutes a day out just to be with the energy of sales, the energy of selling, and just being in that space and having that private time. It's that intimate time to help build that relationship and create more momentum, towards that initiative. And you will see how it just improves your impact and your income tremendously by having this connection factor and not just being mindless and unconscious about how you show up with your selling, and also not being afraid to engage selling in a more meaningful way, something that's very aligned, for you. So this is a time, even what I'm creating right now is sacred space for us just to be in that vibration of sales and selling. And so we're going to take a few moments just to do some deep breathing around this initiative. So I'm going to invite you to take 5 deep breaths, please. Okay. So let's just be in this space for a moment. And just allow the silence to be cultivated here so that you can create that space for the vibration of selling to communicate with you, or you just be in the energy. So we're just going to take a few moments just to be here. Okay. So for some of you, something might have come up initially. What came up for me just in that time of silence, what was coming through, was really about the power of connection and how we leverage the power of connection in so many different ways, not just to connect to our audience, but first initially to connect to the whole and soul of our business initiatives. And then being connected to the source of the truth of selling and just everything that comes along with making this higher impact, in income. But going to the true source, the source creator that then connects us with the true source connection of how we flow that energy into the marketplace. And this comes along again with being intimate with the art of selling, because ultimately you can leverage what I call the mask plan in terms of your marketing, advertising, your selling, and your knowledge about all of that, and creating a strategy to leverage that. But without the selling aspect to convert over into profitability, having the others is good, but it doesn't guarantee anything. But when we plug into the true source of selling, that art, that mission that we're here for, the true soul of it, then we get the wisdom of how to accurately prepare, plan, and position ourselves with what we've created, our signature offers or opportunities, right? And so this is very different than just mapping out a plan and even just getting present with intention. I almost said getting pregnant, but actually we are getting pregnant with ideas. It's conceptual level, and how we allow that to incubate within our awareness and then eventually give birth, to that. So when we can be in this deep space of appreciation with selling and having that intimacy, it takes things to a completely different level. And we want that, because if you want different levels of results, you have to be able to do something different, right? So even as weird as this may seem or sound, to certain people, and for some who will resonate with it right off the top, yeah, you have to do some things differently. And so being able to have this time, even if it's 5 to 10 minutes of that conscious communion and having that sacred space time, that intimacy time, it's powerful. So what's coming to me even at this moment, as I talked about the different levels of the power of connection. So the power of connection to your audience and what they most desire at this time. And this is not just about the offers and the opportunities. How do they desire to be communicated to? What is the connection point for them at this time? How do you engage them in this intimacy, in this sacred space of opportunity, to be able to hear from them? So that's what we're going to be present with right now, is connecting to your audience of interest, connecting to the deep core desires. What do they long to hear? What do they long to experience? And what will lead them in to what you already have, or maybe what they're trying to communicate to you of something else that you need to create. So even for myself right now, of knowing and understanding is expanding more of the relational aspect to the revenue factor as it relates to selling, and continuing more with establishing the partnership, establishing the relationship with selling, and creating more of that intimacy. And so maybe the opportunity also that I invite you into the space to create your own time of intimacy and a plan around that. So let's take a few moments just to be present. I want you to be present with the vibration, of selling for yourself and to your audience, connecting to your audience of interest, what it is that they most desire at this point, and what they want you to know or most need to know about how to connect to them. So let's take a few moments to be present in the space with this and create that intimacy for that. And take about 3 deep breaths, please. So for me, what's actually coming up at this moment, is about the sweet spot of success. Okay? The sweet spot of success. So that's what my audience is wanting, the connection factor, in terms of that. To communicate about that. What is their sweet spot? And what is it that I can provide for them? Which I have tons, and basically I've already created that. But what's being called upon for me at this moment is to create that in the communication format, to connect with that about, yeah, that sweet spot of success as it relates to selling. So that means that that part of my audience is wanting to know more about sales. And so obviously that's going to be those in business and entrepreneurship, and saying that we're the tribe that is desiring this level of communication. And to kind of marry, if you will, what I was speaking about earlier about the continuation with the love relationship establishment and the partnership. And this is really now about being able to practice partnership with profits as it relates to selling. So there's the opportunity there. So that's the communication coming forth to me. So what is it for you, during this time? And if you're comfortable enough to definitely share it in the comments in terms of what came up for you during this time in your sacred space time. And though it is a time of intimacy and, yeah, the sacred space, but the fruit of what comes out is for you to be able to share, with others. And so, yeah. So definitely drop your comment below. I would love to hear about that. And then if you do end up creating some type of offer and opportunity, please, once you create it, please put that link or so down, in the comments so that others can benefit from it, and also give me the opportunity to support you, and share it also too on maybe some of my other platforms. So I just wanted to create, just this time, for this experience, the intimacy and creating this sacred space, and just provide kind of a demonstration or so that you can model after, and or just repeat this video in the process so that you can hear for yourself even more on a deeper level, what's going to be needed for yourself and then also for your audience. And just again, just being with sales, in this way. Again, it may seem a little crazy, a little weird or strange, but the ones who change the world are the ones who primarily are going to do the things that others just won't do. So I'll be back with more videos, even of this nature, and I have a playlist that you can avail yourself to learn more about this different way of being with sales and making these sales adjustments, so to speak, and your perception and your mindset and just in your way of beingness. So I'll be back with you soon.